Hey yo pretty people, my name is Galore and welcome to another episode of Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Now, in the previous episode, we have done some stuff in the Nether. I got some great comments and great advice from you guys on how to make it even better. So I'll be doing that somewhere in between the videos and off camera. But for now, I wanted to return to the overworld, if only because I got tiny bit, bored and tired of secluded locations, of secluded areas. And the Nether is one giant freaking secluded area, so I decided to go into the overworld and, try stuff out. And what I'm currently doing is I am basically tilling the soils for one and only reason, because of the looks and aesthetics. That's right, llamas. There's a lot of you around here. I will address you later. But for now, what I've been doing is I've been just running around, tilling every block of road around the place for one and only reason. And that reason is that while in this default resource pack, the tilled soil, the road soil looks like this. In Sphax resource pack, which is recently bought and installed, it actually looks way different. Yep. What were they even thinking? No, actually, I don't have too much issue with it, except for the fact that the default texture for the road blocks in Minecraft is actually tileable and is actually okay. This is tileable too. But it doesn't look so different from actual, regular dirt blocks. And yes, Sphax resource pack was never intended as this HD default thing or HD vanilla or anything, except, it really is one of those resource packs that follows the vanilla color scheme, if anything else. It is one of those resource packs that I always enjoyed for the fact that if you build something that looks pretty in it, it will probably look pretty in vanilla resource pack too. And no, friends, don't worry, I'm not intending to actually use it in this let's play too much. I just kind of felt like taking at the very least one cut of my stuff looking like how my stuff looks with it before we move on back into default vanilla resource pack, because I honestly love this version of the textures. I honestly draw a lot of inspiration for the way I see Minecraft from the way Sphax does make Minecraft look. And yes, one of the things that I really wanted to, okay, a lot of the things I want from Sphax to move into my own resource pack. Well, not move directly, but get inspired from it, leech off of. And one of the major things like that is the fact that I wanted probably to, like in my own resource pack that I'm working on for this series and that I'll be definitely doing on camera for you, just like we did with the pigmen in a couple episodes before. One thing that I really want for it is the retextured armor, because that is something that Sphax definitely has nailed. The armor looks absolutely amazing, but not too far away from the default. Once again, everything in this silly resource pack looks amazing and not too far away from default, so which is again why I love it. So if you guys enjoy it, please do let me know in the comments down below. And if you are a fan or aren't a fan, I mean, avoiding any flame war, please do let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your opinion. I would love to see if you enjoy this kind of a resource pack that just takes the basic idea of Minecraft and just runs with it, except tiny bit differently. Just tiny bit, ever so slightly, taking its own spin on it. Now, one thing that I absolutely hate in Sphax resource pack, and I don't know if I can edit it out of this version of it, because obviously I edited it out all the time in the Java version, are the villager noises. By God, they are annoying. Do the noise. Do the noise. Yeah, you hear that? That is the sound that the Jawas in the Star Wars in the original trilogy did, and that noise is annoying as all heck. So yeah, let me know if I can get rid of it somehow, and let me also quickly go into the files, go offline for a moment, and remove this resource pack, returning us to the vanilla look. After all, that's the look that I want to go with. Will you shut up? And that is the look that I will be mostly walking in. Okay, so before we proceed, I need to address something that I did off camera and something that I decidedly did off camera. I got some people actually complaining in the comments that Zloy, you always either do like progress updates, you never actually build anything on camera, and I wanted to address it, and you know, I tried out making an actual building episodes where I actually build stuff. However, the problem was that this is what I've built. A giant freaking flat thing with torches on top of it. That's the extent of me building on camera, sadly. I had to scrap that episode, which is why there wasn't one last weekend. Okay, if you look at it from afar, it kind of looks better, but when we are up close, it looks exactly like what it is. A giant box made of the same material with a giant you know, cover up made of the other material. This is not cool in the slightest, but this is the basement, the literal basement of our mansion, of our house. So we're gonna build something on top of it, right? We have to build. I mean, we can't leave it like this, because obviously leaving it like this will only, you know, will only leave a giant boring box. So what can we do to make it betterer? Well, for starters, we might want to, you know, look up what grammar is. After that, I guess some texture and some, you know, relief wouldn't hurt. First of all, we could potentially add some archways or some kind of stuff like that, poking out of the general flatness. Afterwards, we could probably give it some depth by moving the walls of the actual mansion either in or out one block. I'm thinking in, but one thing that I cannot do, like to do that, one thing that I cannot really try here is actually, you know, building walls to begin with, because before we do that, we need to make peace with what we want from this house to begin with. We need to make sure that we know what we're building before we can build that. I mean, in a perfect world, we would create an entire separate vault in creative and try it out in creative. I doubt that we have time for that. Although I could go in creative and just try to and record an entire episode in it. But at the same time, I kind of feel like this would be the perfect time to just pump up the Google Chrome, open some inspirational images, and just go through all of them, just looking for the type of mansion that I really love. And of course, the type of mansion that I really love is old, abandoned, and beautiful, perhaps. You know, creepy, eerie, that kind of stuff. That's what I love. I am a zombie, I am an undead after all. So let me quickly load up. And you know what, now to think about it, I'm pretty sure someone I know and actually did art for had one of those pictures posted recently. Let's go to @mythical sausage. Okay, mythical sausage. Okay, come on. I only showed you guys his avatar so precisely because I actually am the one who drew it. Oh, hey, donuts. Anyway, yeah, that's not what. Well, okay, keep it together. So keep it together. Where is it? Okay, look at that. Just look at it. Oh, so nice. I mean, I can already see this recreated using birchwood, sandstone, and some, you know, some hardened clay. The style is also nice, but it's tiny bit too low scale for what I want. I want like a proper legit giant haunted mansion, and there's not a lot of room to haunt inside of this house, it seems. Okay, moving on. Holy poop, dude. People, oh my god! I could use something like that. This is basically sandstone and red brick and perhaps some hardened red clay. Maybe even some concrete. I mean, I'm not sure we could do this much detailing on it, but I can see myself expanding this design or on all 4 walls if implemented good enough. I want it. Let me take a picture. Alright, try 1 gives me this. See the difference? We're basically trying to create the window beats, the window beats for the house, and the problem with that is that, well, this window is tiny bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 3 times my freaking height. I mean, the house itself, the basement of the house itself, is way too big for me too. But at the same time, this seems like a bit of an overkill. So after much experimentation and some fiddling around, I figured out that probably this is better to go with, just because you know, stained terracotta, okay, stained terracotta, red clay, it is tiny bit easier to create than red brick. But at the same time, red brick is just not a good texture in Minecraft at the moment. Coming, you know, the update of textures in whatever update it decides to come out. Obviously, we will reconsider. But right now, just this is a bad idea. What the brick is great for, though, is texturization of a red clay building. You can actually get a whole palette of red clays and red clay materials. That is, of course, the red terracotta for your regular like base color, the red concrete for your, oh my god, this got either wet or way too colored, the regular you know, hardened clay terracotta for when you want to showcase that the paint has been peeled and like is worn off and no longer as good. And finally, you can put bricks all over the place in places where the clay has absolutely given up, as if the bricks were actually underneath the paint and the outer paint of the building has already like peeled off and fell around closer to the corner. So corner, not wall, window, corner, window, insignia, window, corner. And then in between the corners, we're gonna have either an entrance or some kind of a centerpiece window that we will afterwards play around. The problem right now is that we need to find a desert, because I don't have a desert to gather all of that sandstone, and we need to either find a mesa or like a buttload of clay. And I don't have either in the world just yet. Alright, so we found the desert and a savanna, so that's 2 more biomes that I had before. Now, I'm willing to take a break from the exploring and gather some savanna acacia wood, just so I can bring some saplings back home. And what is that? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I mean, we are forever away from the spawn, but this is way sooner than I expected to encounter a mesa. I was actually smart and I put some obsidian into my ender box and the chest, so I can get that and the chest delivered like with me, and I can get and put together another portal, so I can, you know, return to this place at some point. Now, of course, without the coordinates, creating an actual link to the nether hub that I'm having right now would be really complicated. But then again, I could try and at the very least remember the general direction that I came from to acquire this biome. Just, you know, by the sun and the stars and the, you know, Aristotle ways of figuring out where you are. So that's when the sun rises. That's when the moon set is. That's probably also where the sunset. So that's the east. That's the west. So that's north and that's south, right? I mean, I'm assuming right, but I can figure it out later. So that's supposedly that is the general direction in which my base is. Great. I still think I'll have to drop all of my stuff into the ender chest and just die to return myself home. Well, just to save myself some recording time, I decided to, after all, surrender all my tools, surrender all my armor, drop it all into the ender chest, drop the rest into the regular chest for the next time I'm around, and in the final act of this life... Where's my horse? Horse! Where are you, you waste of a saddle? Horse, whenever you are, hear me! You are forever now called Hachiko. For you will be waiting for me. For me to return. Goodbye, cruel world. Oh my god, this is way too shallow for me to end myself in. It's all in here. Who freaking Ray? If only I actually already had shulker boxes. Well, it's not like it's anyone but my fault that I haven't killed the dragon and you know, fought the dragon and gathered the shulker shells in this particular world. I mean, there's no competition really. It's only my fault in this particular case. And that's about it for today's video, friends. Once again, I didn't do much in the progress-wise, but hey, we did figure out a design that we wanted to go with for the walls of the house, and replicating it enough times on the entire length of the walls will prove tricky and also will prove pretty eventful. Trust me. So right now, I frankly will be going away into the off-screen dimension to figure out how can I time-lapse something on the Windows 10 version, because you know I actually do have another PC running Windows 10, and yeah. As for this time, that's gonna be it for today. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Once again, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do leave a like. If you want to see more, do subscribe to the channel, because well, once again, this series is not going away. It's very much still up and running. And yeah, this has been Galore XP. This has been Bedrock. I'm just stealing zombie clues. I'll try. Aren't I? Oh bother. To be continued. Bye bye.